Welcome to r/Reddit Revenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. And today we have 4 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Devious teenager seeks revenge on a cheap customer who insists on buying subpar paint, leading to a messy and satisfying outcome. The second story. Savvy employee strategically uses grievances to expose favoritism, harassment, and time theft, resulting in a supervisor transfer and a coworker's dismissal. The third story. In a workplace filled with jealousy and tattling, a triumphant employee celebrates leaving by excluding her tattling coworker from a delightful team smoothie treat. The first story is, let me paint you a picture of petty-bollical proportions. I used to be somewhat of a devious teenager, checkout chick for an affordable retail store here in Australia. We had started selling paint, affordable paint. Terrible quality, affordable paint. Awful texture-wise, separates even after having the living hell shook out of it. The color is sometimes, always off. Not suitable for novice home renovators, and this is why we were no longer stocking the product after this lot goes. Hence the markdown. One afternoon, I'm midway through a 10-ish hour Christmas holiday shift when the expected stupidly ridiculous store-wide markdowns, as in barely covers our wages. Store was overrun hectic. It's hot and everyone's peeved. This one cheap customer, let's call him Jackson Pollock/JP, we'll get to that later, had returned to the store after dealing with him the previous day. I had sold him, you guessed it, a 10-liter tin of generic wall paint. JP was renovating a house and didn't want to be out of pocket on the labor or the materials. Because reasons blah. One of the hardware guys, hardware and leisure area's general manager, had explained the range with JP at the checkouts prior to purchase. That it may not be true to color and that we'd only recently started carrying the product, and this was the first and last time ordering it. Yada yada, even recommended that he go to the large hardware store across the road. GM's exact words, they're more expensive there, but their ranges are better and you get what you pay for. Again, we're not a hardware store and there's a reason this swill was so cheap. JP, mid-DIY renovation, had been told explicitly before purchasing this product that it wasn't very good, hence the markdown. Also, like many hardware stores, once it's mixed and sold, there's no returns. No returns. So the next day, this cheap JP comes back into the store and up to the CS desk, where I was logged in, swings the huge tin of wall paint, obviously opened as there's paint striping the sides of the tin, with a clambering thud and proceeds to get in my face. Like yelling to the point of spittle flying at close range and demands to speak to the hardware manager. The general manager is awkwardly for JP, the same guy who'd warned him before purchasing the paint. Who, like myself, remembers this tool? Ha, hardware pun. They get into a discussion about the store's return policy in regards to this mixed and used craptastic paint, and that not only will we not be refunding the purchased original paint, as it had been open and by the customer's admission used, we would not comp for replacement tin, as there was no fault to the product. It was as described, but not suitable for his requirement. Sorry, bud. Manager then reminded him that he'd been advised explicitly the characteristics of the paint, and cautioned that it may not be suitable. Boom. Manager then asked me to deal with the absolutely irate customer, who, like JP's new tin of paint, was quite shaken. I then proceeded to ring the new selected paint tin through its sale price. Same range, different color, same issues as the first one, as it's the same paint. JP complaining about the product, the original advice not to buy the product, the manager, the store, and finally caps it off by calling me incompetent. WTF? What did I do? Right, I'm a clerk, not a handyman. You're the one who won't take constructive advice. Transactions complete. I stick the receipt to the top of the paint tin, and then hand JP the tin handle. I'm visibly straining as a 15-year-old girl to lift this 10-liter weight across the counter to him. So Jackson Pollock just smirks at me, watching me struggle for an extended period. F-wit, smirks at my arms tremoring, lifting from my tippy toes over the counter from my strained face. Oh hell no. Smug JP then demanded a plastic bag to hold the paint tin, which I explained is 10 liters and has a handle. JP reasoned as we wouldn't give him a discount, he snarlily added, might as well get something for free. At which point I lower the paint tin, handle and all, it in one plastic bag. No, JP wants a bigger bag. Okay. I then strain to lift the tin from the smaller bag, then lower the tin into the larger bag. I then struggle to lift the bag from the bag bay back across the counter to JP. He smirks again, head tilted at me, struggling to lift his bag to him. Can you double bag it? Effer, that's it. Never breaking eye contact. I then lower the bag into the bag bay, into a second bigger bag, which I then lift and once again strain to hand to him. This time I'm smirking. JP was obviously taken aback, doesn't say anything, grabs his SH Paint Mark II and walks out the front of the store, into the shopping center, now engrossed on his phone. And you know, once you leave the store and open the tin, no returns? I log off, sprightly bounded around the side of my counter to go for my lunch break in the tea room, watching this happen in real time. As soon as this jerk Jackson Pollock takes like 5 steps out of the store, the bag splits, cue loud bang, and all 10 liters of craptastic quality rage-inducing devil paint tin explodes all over the chump. JP is just standing there in shock, from waist down covered in splattered paint, watching the rest drain out onto the marble flooring of the shopping center. Did I mention that I tore the bags on the bag hooks when I handed it to the tool? Yup, pulled them across the hooks of the bagging bay, deliberately perforating the entire side of both bags facing me. Store policy still applies. No returns on open paint. Fun fact, if you damage property in this particular shopping center, you're liable. Marble flooring, quite expensive, much like a Jackson Pollock painting. But hey, JP made a saving on the cost of that paint. This jerk Jackson Pollock got what he deserved, as they say. He was so stingy and stubborn that he didn't listen to the advice of a professional and tried to save money on the worst paint. You impressed JP with your kindness and paradoxical logic. Your double packing of the paint and the visible tension when lifting the bag were just great. And finally, the climax when the bag broke and all the paint spilled out on JP was hilarious. Now, JP can consider himself a real artist because his clothes now resemble a Jackson Pollock painting, and you've become a true master of value-based service. Jackson Pollock may be the best example of how not to skimp on quality. Life always gives us back what we deserve, and JP seems to have gotten his share of paint and laughter. So, dear JP, you've made yourself your own instant masterpiece. The next story is the time I got my supervisor transferred and my SH coworkers fired. The long. So I work for one of the big shipping companies and I'm union. Per my union contract, work is offered seniority down and forced seniority up. So if there's available overtime, it's offered to the most senior worker down in order, and if no one wants it, the bottom B is forced in. Some of the overtime work can only be done by certified employees, hazmat responder, including the work I do dealing with damages and leaking packages. There are 2 other people who also do this work, and one of them is my boyfriend. The other we'll call TA. TA is lower seniority than me, and my boyfriend is higher. My boyfriend's old roommate also worked there. Roomie. Relationships are allowed with no real restrictions between employees on the same level, but fraternization involving management is very much against the rules. This escaped my supervisor, who has a small group of 4 to 5 employees she goes out drinking with, hangs out with, and has even had sex with 2 of them. TA and Roomie both belong to this group, and Roomie is one of the 2 Soup has had sex with. When my boyfriend and I got together, Roomie got peeved and started being a petty A in any way he could. He insisted if I used the downstairs bathroom, I needed to clean it. He complained whenever I would spend the night, saying he wasn't okay with me being there for the hour between my boyfriend's start time and mine by myself, but he let his girlfriend stay there for a whole weekend while he was gone. He generally made my boyfriend feel unwelcome in his own home. It got so bad he moved in with me by having his parents and I pack up and move all his SH in one day while Roomie was gone, then told him. TA is not much better than Roomie. You know the stereotypical nice guy? She's got nice girl energy. She's the type to flirt and be nice and feign incompetence to get other people to do her job. She does this constantly with hazmat work, leaving a note on her half-finished work for someone else to find and have to finish. If we have half-finished hazmat work in the building and we're audited, the company gets a big government fine. Well, apparently Roomie decided to SH talk my BF at work, and our supervisor started effing with him, moving him from his preferred position, giving his overtime to lower seniority staff. Just whatever she thought she could get away with. She even literally yelled at him for something that wasn't his job / he didn't do while he was off the clock. The last thing she did was drag her feet getting him his annual recertification training, then tell the hazmat program director that he was voluntarily relinquishing his position as a hazmat responder. He did no such thing. He filed several harassment grievances against her, and she shifted to effing with me. She started out skipping giving me the opportunity to go home when there wasn't enough work for everyone. Also seniority down, and if they don't find enough people who want to leave, bottom up is laid off for the day. Then she started not telling me about overtime hazmat work and just giving it to TA. Because I'm both litigious and a union member, I asked all the drivers I'm friends with to keep an eye on when she was there. My driver Spies learned that not only was she being given my work every day, She was staying there and on the clock stealing time until the work became available. We also learned she's been given all the hazmat work at another location, which also should have been awarded to me. But the bigger issue is she was catching a ride with a driver in a company vehicle. She has a DUI because of course she does. Don't worry, she's not a driver. This is a huge liability issue for the company, and a giant flashing red neon no-no. So I went ahead and filed a grievance, and included the information about fraternization, harassment, and favoritism, as well as TA's use of the driver as a free ride. My union rep, the real hero of this story, was big mad. He's perhaps the only person I know who's more litigious than I am. He missed his calling as a lawyer. He got union business agents involved. Several supervisors got in trouble for participating and knowingly committing seniority violations. Yesterday, I noticed one of the supervisors, who's beloved by all her subordinates, was shadowing my supervisor. Come to find, she's going to be in charge of my shift now, and my old supervisor is being transferred to another center. Not only that, but TA got fired for time theft, but I got a nice fat grievance check for all the hours she got from the work I wasn't offered. Free money, traded a bad supervisor for an excellent one that I'm excited to work for, and TA got a little bit of what she deserves. Exercising your rights through a trade union and using your sharp legal skills is a very smart move. And the fact that you took part in revealing the problems associated with franking and abuse of office is also impressive. Your deft and calculated approach to the situation, including the use of intelligent sources amongst your spy drivers, is just incredibly admirable in my opinion. You played your game, and it ended in a great victory. So you got even more than you expected. Monetary compensation, a new boss, and an excellent reputation in the work environment. Perhaps these funds will be a great start to some amazing travel or entertainment to celebrate this incredible victory. Now that you've gotten your justice and even some money, it might be time for a well-deserved rest, and a party to celebrate your victory. We wish you many happy and peaceful working days without such incidents. The third story is coworker tattletaling at work. I left her out of my going away celebration. This happened a year ago when I applied for a senior position and ended up getting the said position even though I'm underqualified. A very B coworker B also applied for the job and obviously did not get it. Coworker B proceeded to badmouth me to everyone that would listen. She have no experience. Wrong, I had 2 jobs before. She's straight out of college. Wrong, 5 years out of college. She only got the job because she's certain race. Prove it. Unlike her, I'm actually well liked, so I had tons of coworkers come over and tell me everything she said. Anyways, after I moved into the new group, I found out coworker A and coworker B are good friends. Coworker A was unhappy that I got the promotion instead of coworker B. I got some bad vibes from her, but whatever, I ignored her and moved on with life. Until one day, my supervisor came over and talked with me. Apparently, I forgot to update my Excel spreadsheet for the day, and she wrote a nasty email and sent it to my direct supervisor, another supervisor, the manager, and CC'd all upper management. Luckily for me, my track record speaks for itself, so no one took it seriously. Here comes the petty revenge part. Months later, I got another job. On my last day, I really wasn't going to do anything special, just pack up my stuff and leave, but where's the fun in that? So I got up early, went to my favorite smoothie place, and brought a whole bunch of smoothies for everyone on the team except for one. When I got to work, I made a huge show of telling everyone personally that I got smoothies, and they should come and get one. I even got one for the guy that used to work on the team, but is with some other department now. Literally everyone got one except for coworker A. The entire team sits together, and I explained in a loud voice what is in the smoothie and how good they are. So everyone's happily drinking her away except for her awkwardly sitting there and looking at her computer. And after that, she got up and left her desk and didn't come back for hours. As far as coworker B, someone else did the revenge part. She was on leave and someone took all of her personal belongings off her desk and nobody can find it. You should have announced that this applies to everyone you consider your friends, and you're grateful to such friends who did not set you up and could show you professionalism. You definitely made everyone have fun and left one person out, and that was just great. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.